I am speaking to you from a place of silence now. Most people wait until they are old to understand what I will show you today, but you do not have to make that mistake. These 5 things are not inspirational phrases. They are observations I made about energy and where it goes when you are not paying attention. My name is Nikola Tesla, and I spent my entire life studying invisible forces. Not just electricity, but something more fundamental. The force of your own attention and what happens when you give it away without realizing it. I worked alone in my laboratory for decades, and during that time I noticed patterns that appear in both electrical circuits and human minds. The same principles, the same laws. In this recording, I will show you 5 observations, 5 patterns I noticed first in electrical systems and then in human beings. You will recognize them immediately because you live with them every day. But recognition is not the same as understanding. Understanding requires you to test these observations yourself, to see them operating in your own life. I cannot do that for you. Let me begin with something simple. The first observation is about resistance. In an electrical circuit, resistance determines how much energy is lost as heat, wasted, gone forever. The higher the resistance, the more energy disappears before it reaches its destination. Now I want you to do something. Think about yesterday. Just yesterday. How many times did you stop what you were doing because something interrupted you? A sound, a thought, another person, a feeling of restlessness, an urge to check something, a notification, a worry about something that has not happened yet. If you stopped fewer than 3 times, you have unusual discipline. Most people stop dozens of times. Every interruption is resistance. Every time you stop and restart, you lose energy as heat. Not metaphorical heat. Actual energy from your body and mind that you will never get back. The transition from focus to distraction and back to focus burns fuel. Most people burn more energy transitioning than they do working. Here is why this matters to you. A man named Edward, 68 years old, told me he felt tired all the time. He was not sick. He was not weak. His doctor found nothing wrong. I asked him to count his interruptions for one day. He counted 47. 47 times he stopped what he was doing and had to rebuild his focus. He was exhausted not from work, but from restarting. His mind was spending all its energy on ignition. The adjustment is small. Before you begin any task, decide how long you will stay with it. Not ambitious, just honest. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 if you can manage it. During that time, you do not answer to anything unless it is a true emergency. Not a perceived emergency. A true one. You will feel the difference in your body within 3 days. Your mind will feel different within hours. If you are enjoying this, subscribe now, because what comes next builds on this foundation. Stay with me because the next part changes the meaning. The second observation is about frequency. In my laboratory, I worked with alternating current. The frequency must match between the generator and the receiver, or the system fails. The energy transfers only when both operate at the same rhythm. Your mind operates the same way. You have a natural rhythm of focus and rest, but most people override it constantly. They force high frequency when their system needs low. They demand low frequency when their system is running high. Do this right now. Sit still and notice your breathing. Do not change it. Just notice. After 30 seconds, ask yourself, was I breathing fast or slow? Shallow or deep? If your breath was fast and shallow, you are running at the wrong frequency for rest. If it was slow and deep, you might be at the wrong frequency for work. Most people never check. They push when they should rest. They rest when they should push. They wonder why nothing feels right. The system becomes chaotic. Unstable. You cannot transfer energy efficiently when the frequencies do not match. I will tell you why this destroys your decisions. When you operate at the wrong frequency, you cannot tell signal from noise. Everything feels urgent. Everything feels important. You react to static. You think you are responding to real information, but you are responding to interference. Your judgment becomes unreliable because you are processing at the wrong speed. A woman named Maria, 72, could not sleep. She told me her mind would not stop, racing, spinning. I asked her what she did in the hour before bed. She watched news. She read messages. She worried about tomorrow, all high-frequency activity. Then she laid down and expected her mind to shift to low frequency instantly. It cannot. The system does not work that way. You cannot go from 60 cycles per second to 6 in one step. Here is what she changed. 1 hour before sleep, she lowered the frequency deliberately. Dim light, slow movement, no new information, nothing urgent. Her mind learned the signal. Within 1 week, she slept through the night. The frequency matched what her body needed. You can do this right now. Check your frequency 3 times today: morning, afternoon, evening. Notice if your activity matches your natural rhythm or fights against it. Most people spend their entire life fighting their own system. Match your activity to your natural rhythm. Stop fighting yourself. But here is what most people miss. The third observation is about direction. Electricity flows from high potential to low potential. Always. It has no choice. The energy moves toward the path of least resistance and greatest attraction. Your attention works the same way. It flows toward whatever has the strongest pull in that moment. You think you control it, but you do not. Not unless you set the direction in advance and make that direction the highest potential in your field. Try this. Think of one thing you want to accomplish today. Just one. Now think about everything else that will try to pull your attention. Other people's requests, devices, worry, boredom, curiosity, the feeling that you should check something. Which pull is stronger? Be honest. If the other pulls are stronger, you will not accomplish your one thing. This is not about willpower. This is about potential. You must make your chosen direction the highest potential in your field, or the energy will flow somewhere else. It must. This is not a moral failure. This is physics. Here is the human cost. A man named John, 65, retired and told me he finally had time to do what he always wanted. Write, build, learn, create something meaningful. But 6 months later, he had done nothing. He was angry at himself, disappointed. I asked him what happened. He said every day something else needed his attention first. Small things, requests, distractions, errands. His attention flowed to the highest potential, and it was never his own chosen direction. Everything else had more pull. The solution is not complicated, but it requires you to be honest. Every morning before you check anything else, decide your direction. Write it down. 1 sentence. This is my highest potential today. Then protect it like it is the only thing that matters, because in terms of your energy, it is. Everything else is lower potential. Your attention will try to flow away. You must actively maintain the gradient. In a moment, you will see why this matters to you. The fourth observation is about insulation. In my systems, I used insulation to prevent energy from leaking into places it should not go. Without insulation, the current spreads everywhere and powers nothing. The energy dissipates. Your mind needs insulation too. Between you and the noise, between your core and the constant stream of other people's thoughts, fears, opinions, emergencies. Most people have no insulation. Every opinion reaches them. Every crisis reaches them. Every advertisement reaches them. They believe this is being informed, being engaged, being aware. It is not. It is being conductive to everything. You cannot think clearly when 1,000 signals pass through you every hour. You become a transmission wire, not a mind. Do this now. Ask yourself, how many voices are in my head that are not my own? How many concerns am I carrying that do not belong to me? How many problems am I solving that are not mine to solve? If you hear more than 3, you are not insulated. You are a wire in the open air. Anything can interfere with you. This is why people change their mind so easily. This is why they feel confused about simple questions. They have no protection from interference. Every signal reaches their core. Their actual thoughts are drowned out by transmission noise. Let me tell you about Ruth, 70 years old. She told me she used to know what she believed, but now she was not sure about anything. I asked her what changed. She said she started reading everything, listening to everyone, trying to understand all perspectives. Noble intention, terrible result. She had removed all insulation. Every signal reached her core. She could not tell which thoughts were hers anymore. I told her to insulate. Choose 3 sources of input you trust, not because they agree with you, but because they think carefully before they speak. Everything else is noise. Do not let it touch you. Within 2 weeks, she told me her mind felt clean again, clear. She could hear her own thoughts. You can start today. Identify one source of noise in your life. One stream of information that makes you feel confused or agitated or anxious without giving you anything useful. Stop conducting it. Insulate yourself. You will know within days if it was signal or interference. Stay with me because this final observation ties everything together. The 5th observation is about ground. Every electrical system needs ground. A reference point, a place where excess energy can discharge safely. Without ground, the system becomes unstable, dangerous. Voltage builds up with nowhere to go. Your mind is the same. It needs ground. A reference point outside the chaos. Something stable. Something that does not move when everything else is shaking. Most people have no ground, no reference point outside the chaos. They are floating. Every new input shakes them. Every criticism destabilizes them. They have nothing solid to return to. This is exhausting. This is why people feel lost even when they are surrounded by information and connection. They are untethered. Think about this carefully. What is your ground? What do you return to when everything else is moving? What remains true regardless of what happens around you? If you cannot answer immediately, you are floating. You are at the mercy of every current around you. This is not a moral question. It is a stability question. Ungrounded systems fail. They always fail eventually. A man named Samuel, 81, told me he felt like he did not recognize the world anymore. Everything had changed. I asked him what had not changed. He stopped. He could not think of anything. No ground. Everything in his awareness was in motion. I asked him to find one thing, one principle, one practice, one relationship, something that remains true regardless of what happens around it. He thought for a long time. Then he chose his morning walk. Every day, same path, same time, no phone. Just him and the movement. It sounds small, insignificant. It is not. It became his ground, his reference point, the one thing that did not change. Within a month, he told me he felt stable again. The world was still changing, but he was not floating in it. You do not need permission to do this. Find your ground today. It can be a practice, a place, a question you ask yourself every morning, a commitment you keep regardless of circumstances. Something that does not change when everything else does. Test it for 1 week. You will feel the difference in your nervous system, in your sense of stability. Let me bring these 5 observations together. Resistance, frequency, direction, insulation, ground. These are not metaphors. These are principles I saw in electrical systems and then in human life. You lose energy to resistance when you allow constant interruption. You become chaotic when you ignore your natural frequency. Your attention flows away from you when you do not set direction. You cannot think clearly without insulation from noise. You become unstable without ground. I am 86 years old now. I tested these observations on myself for 40 years. They are not theories. They are reports from the laboratory of one human life. Yours will be different, but the principles remain. The laws do not change. Now I have a question for you. Which of these 5 do you recognize most clearly in your own life right now? Resistance, frequency, direction, insulation, ground? Leave your answer below because your observation helps others see their own patterns. We learn from each other's honesty. In the next recording, I will show you what happens when you combine these 5 principles. The result is not what most people expect. It is simpler and more powerful than anything I built in my laboratory. It requires no special equipment, only attention. Until then, pay attention to where your energy goes. You will be surprised what you notice when you simply observe without judgment. The patterns reveal themselves.